You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. Hello and welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your chunk.
I'm Doge, and are you classified as human? Negative. I am a meat chunksicle.
And I'm Carter, and...
what's wrong with you? What are you screaming for?
No.
Huh?
No. No more of that, please.
You just cut me off?
It's the energy. The energy of Chris Tucker in this movie is splitting my head in half. You may continue, but we're going to talk about Chris Tucker.
I can't believe he just interrupted. I can't believe he just interrupted your quote. I will never do that to you.
Every 5 minutes or something. A hunk or something. I'm leaving. Bzz.
Thank you for finishing your quote. How dare you?
Thank you.
Doge.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. I'm sorry. You are the hunk because this is a big week for you.
It is a big week for me. It's the beginning of the end of one of my dear friendships. No, it's my contribution, my bowl of Chooser's Choice for the Soul that I brought today, and yeah, I'm excited for it. It's just one of my favorites.
We're 1 week into this series, and it's not that I was not convinced of the idea of how fun this would be, but I'm so in love with this series of watching each other's comfort movies that we could just watch on repeat. That's so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
It feels really personal.
Yeah, let's set up just a little bit what we have done here. Carter's idea, I think, was brilliant. And his idea was, as we watch these movies...
Oh, it was Doge's idea.
Oh, was that Doge's idea?
I was going to let it slide. Because I was so mean to you. You want to take credit for this one since I was so mean to you earlier?
The chooser of the movie also gets to dictate the snack.
Yeah, they get to snacktate.
Eaten during said viewing experience. And so Carter...
Did you do a snack? Did you do the snack, Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
I did too.
Did you do both? Or
no.
one?
I did 1.5.
We did cookies because we already had them.
Oh, nice.
We had the breakaway cookies, and something went weird with them, and they didn't cook, so we had to flip them, and they came out looked like cookie pancakes, but they were really crispy outside and real gooey inside.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good.
Carter, tell the
actually.
people what is your prescribed snack? Okay, let's say we should probably say the movie, synop it, and then Carter may describe his experience watching this movie growing up, and then that way that can lead us into a snack discussion.
That feels good.
Yeah, well, the movie is the first movie of Chooser's Choice for the Soul is The Fifth Element. And the synopsis goes a little something like this.
Sorry, I had it pulled up and it went away.
Sure.
This week's synopsis. You say that, but you're gonna love this. You're gonna really love. I know the flavor that you guys need. This week's synopsis is written by Nick Reganis.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yay!
So Nick Reganis is a zero-time listener and a long-time contributor to the synopsis portion of this podcast. Nick, I think, has never seen a superhero movie because we've been doing we started doing Spider-Man around Thanksgiving, and we haven't read a Nick synopsis in a long time. And maybe he's never seen a superhero movie. Nick Reganis writes, unbeknownst to him, Corbin Dallas, a former Special Forces commando and now a mid-23rd century New York City cab driver, finds himself caught in the middle of an eons-old war when the immaculate being, Lilu, crashes into his taxi. In search of the perfect weapon that can save humanity from an all-powerful force of pure evil, Corbin, Lilu, and the space priest Vito Cornelius struggle to unearth the mysterious fifth element, as the scheming industrialist Zorg is already after the other four. Now, In the ultimate battle between good and evil, Lilu seems to hold the key to Earth's salvation. However, is the world worth saving?
So
we always end with a question when it's a Nick Regana synopsis.
Saving?
I love Nick.
My go-to just snack in general. There were two snacks. There were two comfort foods attached to this comfort. I think comfort, when we're associating it with like products and experiences and stuff, comfort food is a big keyword that everybody knows about. But for me, it was also my Toonami snack. As I would go get home from school, either
Watch
it was waiting for me in the car,
some Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, Inuyasha. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z first experiences, all probably around this same time in '97. But would get a 99-cent bag. So it's a $2 snack. So 99-cent bag of Lay's Masterpiece Barbecue, which they don't really do Masterpiece Barbecue anything anymore. Yeah.
Right.
I don't even think it was KC Masterpiece at the time. I think it got renamed at one point.
Okay.
Because Kansas City was like, what do you mean?
That's our masterpiece.
That's our masterpiece. So we'd go from, Kansas City,
It's
a little
all
bit of Kansas
prospectors
City.
in Kansas City, which is what nobody knows.
A little bit of Kansas City, a little bit of Arizona. So I'd also have a tall boy of Arizona sweet tea, which I guess they still have those too.
Tall boy.
Those are very tall boys.
Still, hey,
Like
they still have those,
32
and they are still 99 cents.
That's amazing. So that was a big snack for me with the sci-fi mood in general, but then also mom pretty consistently for the neighborhood. Around this time, I was living in a really small town in West Texas, and it was kind of a dream because from the age of like 7 to 16, all of my friends kind of lived on the same block. It was something out of like The Sandlot. And mom would be known for making these wonderful homemade chocolate chip cookies, which she continues to bring down anytime she visits Chelsea and I. So chocolate chip cookies and milk, and I could taste them both as I was watching The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element for me, the very first time I saw this movie was a clip of it at a Sears. And they were selling all of these televisions and stuff, and everything was, because this was, it was interesting to read the trivia that this was the highest budget film like this ever to date or something. It's like pretty ridiculous, and that they're just going in on a Luc Besson, something he wrote when he was 17, all the way up until finally being able to produce it 2 decades later. But yeah, seeing that and just the colors and the action and everything, I was just enamored. And so to finally be able to watch it, I'd have to wait till it would come onto the television because I think there was some nudity or something. Mm-hmm. And so I watched it for the first time, I think when I was 10 or 11 years old. And it was, y'all, this watching, I've watched it more than 50 times, I'm sure. Like it is just my family could quote it. I remember before I even saw the clip of the movie, it was like back in the day when a good sound system took up half of your living room wall.
Yeah. Yep.
My uncle, who worked at NASA, who also was very fascinated with, science fiction. He had certain things he didn't like and certain things he did like. Big Apollo 13 fan, hated Independence Day, but for some reason loved The Fifth Element because The Fifth Element decided to just be completely ridiculous. He hated that Independence Day was like saying that this is what our military is currently capable of, which is so funny. Anyways, he was playing the soundtrack of this for us on these ginormous either
soundtrack
Toshiba, JBL, like back when they were as tall as I was, these speakers. And I just, it's visceral to me, The Fifth Element.
That's so fun.
Mm-hmm. So I would say it's like number 6, maybe. It's not a top 5, but it's certainly a top 10. And that's just for this kind of nostalgia-rich experience for me. So I'm interested to hear about y'all's first watches.
I think I have secondhand nostalgia for it because I have not seen it until, 3 nights ago when I watched it for the show. But it is so very time capsule-y.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is incredibly 1997.
Yes. I think I watched it through the lens of Carter Loves This, which helped.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if it would like make sense why I loved it because it's different. Okay,
it definitely makes sense why you.
It definitely makes sense why you love it.
Because now I get to be. It's like I'm coming to accounts because it's like I've just lived with these things.
Right.
What do you observe, person who knows me well. You know, it's.
I have thoughts. I have thoughts about the movie, both good and bad. I think. And we'll
sure. I mean, I do too.
You know, we'll unload. We'll get into all.
Before we
of
get to the movie, though, Carter, did you do your own snack experience?
I didn't. No,
you didn't even do your own experience, man.
I know. I did it. I did it like Lost Boys, late 90s. Pan. Like,
sure.
I was definitely having it.
Delicious.
Yeah. I walked to the Walgreens close to my home.
That's nice.
And I got me a Arizona sweet tea that I drink with dinner. And then I had a cookie and a glass of milk while I watched this movie.
Love it. Thank you.
Had to get the full Carter experience.
I had a specific scene I should have told y'all to where that would to have those things. But it was the Zorg showing them the gun.
Yeah.
That's about the time the cookies would have popped out of the oven for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, my cookie did not even make it till the title of the movie.
My cookie honestly might have been about that time, Carter, because we started preheating the oven about the time we hit play on this movie.
So you got that full experience.
Yeah,
No way.
it would have been about then.
We finished the cookies. We finished making the cookies, and then I sat down with my hot cookie, and it was about 30 seconds.
It's wild to me that you went with
milk.
hot cookie and sweet tea is a weird...
No. I had sweet tea with
I know
dinner.
you had them separately, but it's just funny to me that that's the snack combo that was plucked from the options.
No, I had a cookie and milk, which is one of the two snacks, and then I had half the other snack, the tea, but not the chips.
The thing about Arizona teas is that the best one to me is the Diet Arnold Palmer, which thinking of that lemon with the cookie makes my mouth turn inside out.
I didn't drink I didn't have them at the same time. They were 30 minutes apart. They were 60 minutes apart.
You dunked the cookie in the tea?
I actually just poured it over the cookie and ate it out of a bowl like cereal. Cookie crisp.
You know what? I bet if you did that with cookies and milk.
Speaking of
it would actually be
1997.
pretty good.
Yeah, for real.
I'm going to super dump immediately. And here's why. I have a very specific reason for doing this.
Good luck super dumping this perfect
Because there are two things in this movie that I have take umbrage with. And then the rest of it, I either, take it or leave it or really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the thing I feel negative about out of the way. Second place thing I dislike the most, not my super dump, but I'll just go ahead and say Chris Tucker's vague Prince impression throughout this entire movie.
So funny.
Irked me.
No, not fun. No, not fun. Not so
However, even in the irk, he was the funniest thing about the movie.
Doge
irked.
is, I get it. Doge is 80-year-old man that said, why do dogs and birds exist to make noise? Is just wants to shut their mouths. Here's the thing. Here's what's so fun about
That's not my super dump, though. I'm going to get to that, but you tell me the thing.
Yeah, let me just do a little bit of Turabian footnotes here. So this is one of those things that I only got to have in 1999 when I watched it.
Sure.
It was like, and I can see how it aged really bad in terms of like how his impersonation, how over the top he was. But it's like in 90s, like this, he was everyone, like if there had been Instagram, like he would, like this character, Ruby Rod would be like trending to an extent. And that doesn't excuse it in any way, but I totally see it. But it's so funny to me. It's like, I 100% get it, but I can't see it. Like it's like numb. It's like, I don't understand why he's annoying. Cause I'm also like everything in the 90s. Do you not like Chris Tucker?
No, I like Chris Tucker.
This is just Chris Tucker at 11.
It's so the yelling became so much at a certain point that I was like, somebody should have stepped in here. Yeah. Again, I want to say almost every time I laughed in this movie was because of him. So I don't hate him.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I don't feel like I have the right to defend one of the most ridiculous
I'll tell you
characters
what
I've ever
my
seen in a
true
movie.
super dump is, though. And it is the relationship between Corbin Dallas and Lilu. So, but as I tear into this, first of all, he kissed her while she was unconscious. Not a great look.
That is not consent.
But
even if she's God.
Even if she's God.
I have a question that ties into my super dump a little bit and might affect how intense this super dump is. So, okay, Let me finish the question before we jump all over it, because I know it kind of is explained.
Which one is Darth Vader?
Is Lilu the fifth element, or is the fifth element love and she channels all 5 of the elements? Because they specifically say that she needs his love. He is specifically told she needs your love. And I could get on board with love being an element more than her being an element. And Captain Planet is also summoned with earth, fire, wind, water, and heart as the 5th element. So I can get on board with that. But it seems like once she changes her mind about saving everybody because she sees what war is, and then Corbin says, but I love you, that once that 5th element enters. But either way, my super dump specifically is that at no point in this movie did it seem like she was even remotely romantically interested in him at all. Yeah. And it's all about the fact that he wants to have Wii Sports on her. And then our payoff before the credits roll, the payoff of the movie is that Corbin gets to Wii Sports Lilu. And I don't like that.
It's presented as like the answer to what Corbin's been looking for this whole time. His phone call at the beginning.
The perfect
she doesn't exist, right? He's like, I'm still looking for the perfect woman.
Yeah.
That's a yikes for me. That's a pretty major yikes.
She's from what I understood, she's the surrogate for.
So is the fifth element love?
She's like a human stone.
Yeah.
Right? It's
right,
like we had to drop a match on the
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Love is the 5th element. And only she can be the surrogate for the 5th element.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yep. It's icky. And it's such a sign of the times, and the times that we're just kind of like ignorant. Like of just like, that is such a bummer.
I found myself thinking while I was watching, okay, this movie is 25 years old and has so many interesting concepts,
right?
That I wouldn't, because I have no emotional attachment to it, the idea of a remake about this essentially like newborn adult woman who is the key to saving the universe and is essentially a superhero, but with the life experience of a toddler. Mm-hmm. Minus the gross sexual stuff, is actually a very interesting story to tell.
I think it's a more interesting movie without Corbin Dallas at all. I think if we protagonize Lilu, then it's a lot more interesting.
I hear what you're saying. I kind of like the idea that the person that is like sort of escorting and assisting this newborn adult is sort of this like taxi driver, nobody. I mean, I understand that he was special forces and so he's not nobody, but I kind of like the idea that she just sort of falls into his lap and he stumbles into this weird adventure.
Yeah. Weird is a good word for it, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Weird. This is probably the weirdest movie I've ever seen in my life, Carter.
I don't think that's true.
That can't be true.
What's a weirder movie I've seen?
Jupiter Ascending.
Mars Needs Moms.
This is on par with Jupiter Ascending in terms of like, what?
See,
what are you measuring it against?
In terms
other
of
things
like,
that played eternally on USA at 3 p.m. on the weekend? What do you want?
Something that
is it because I said it was a comfort movie? Is that what's blowing your mind? Is like Carter's better than this?
No. All I'm saying is that this movie is incredibly strange. It's super weird.
It.
That's all I'm saying. And I get watching this, I was like, this is not what I would consider to be traditionally good.
Oh, no.
But I 100%.
It's not on your scratch off poster.
Right. It's a bit like how dogs would be like, any intense flavor, I'm into that 100%. It's like the weirdness and the characters are dialed up to 25 in this. 100%. And I feel like that's why it's a comfort movie for Carter, because Carter loves characters, interesting characters, and weird characters, and everyone in this movie is so weird.
Yeah, I think what it was for me was like almost all of the pieces of my Megazord were put together in terms of figuring out my personality, but I had like this one leg missing, and it was quirk. And Fifth Element for me, like completely
all the
unlocked
quirk in
that.
the world.
I was like, oh my God, I would love to just do unexpected things and be loud and just be ridiculous and not care.
So-
I think that's where a lot of it came from.
Part of the reason this movie ended up kind of working for me as I was watching it is in the weirdness and the quirkiness and sort of the over the top, like in the middle of the B movie elements that definitely are present here. I want to start with the aliens that come out at the pyramid in 1816? 1916?
1914.
I think it's 1916. I was not expecting that strange body shape and thickness.
The puppet.
And
the
when
puppet
they
of them?
emerged, all I could think of was the Warhammer, like Space Marine things.
Yeah.
And I know that Warhammer, I don't know a ton about it, but I know that it gets sort of like Event Horizon-y, like sort of like eldritch abominations bent on destroying the universe, and all that stands between them is this one thing. And then when we find out that our antagonist is essentially like a living planet of pure evil, at that point, I was like, oh, this is sort of eldritch cosmic horror. And all of a sudden, my ears perked. There was something vaguely Ridley Scott xenomorph alien about a lot of the architecture of the alien craft. Like it was kind of buggy. Yeah, Geigery. It was kind of exoskeleton buggish in a very weird looking way. And I love that, especially contrasted with the like cosmopolitan area of the future. And so the vibe of this movie, lone, like stranger in a strange land up against this cosmic elder being that is a planet, very into it. Love it.
Yeah. Just like a ridiculousness.
Yes.
Like, okay, whatever.
With Rob Dyrdek. Yeah.
With Rob Dyrdek. Luc Besson,
Yeah.
our director, was kind of, it's funny. He's quoted from multiple sources many different times on his media junkets and interviews far after Fifth Element of saying like he was kind of over the grim, dark version of the future. And I think he's probably directly referring to people like Ridley Scott.
For sure.
Like Blade
who
Runner.
I love,
Yeah.
and Alien is a top 5 movie for me. So it is fun to have Ian Holm here
Man,
too.
Ian Holm is great in this, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, he was quoted as saying he wanted a future that just felt like cheerfully crazy. And so Luc Besson is not someone that we're coming up like, oh, he's shades of Denis and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He's done things, Leon, right, is the actual scratch off poster movie that he's done. And I think y'all should definitely see that. But then it's like he's done like Nikita, which became the show La Femme Nikita. So it kind of makes sense, the ickiness about him. I don't know if you'll ever watch that, but it's basically like Alias, closer rated to R, and then he did Lucy. So he's all with these like one name movies. To me, it kind of almost feels like him with a big budget kind of excusing how he couldn't really make a good. He's like, mine will be cheerfully crazy. Doesn't that feel fun?
Because that's what he accidentally hit, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Lewis Park loving 11-year-old Bucktooth Carter said, yup. Yes, it is cheerfully crazy and fun. But yeah, it's not even Luc. It's clearly not Luc Besson's best work or the best movie of his.
I am feeling such empathy for you, my friend Carter, right now. Sitting and being like, but when you watch it,
Is that what I've been doing?
It just feels like we have caused you to feel as though you must scramble the fighter jets for this movie. When I really enjoyed my watching experience of this.
I'm gonna while the jets are taking off, the jets are about to be in the air. They're gonna your full defenses will be operational in just a moment. So in this time, I'm gonna go ahead and just say my super dump really quick, and then a couple of other negative things just to get it out of the way. It's like you're getting a shot at the doctor. Just look over here at this balloon with a clown on it or whatever. while I poke you in the arm really hard.
That sounds terrifying.
Look over here at this balloon with like blue from Blue's Clues on it or whatever. How's that? That's better. Were you too old for Blue's Clues, Carter?
Almost.
Yeah. What was it? Coco Melon for you? What did
Dr.
you like?
Phil.
Yeah. Chris Tucker's my super dump. Chris Tucker in this movie is perhaps the most annoying thing ever committed to film.
I'm not surprised.
Chris Tucker in this movie made me wish it was Jar Jar instead.
Yeah. I knew I wasn't going to come in. And if I'm scrambling, that is my spirit that's just trying to say, hey, Carter, the things that make you are still worthy. But it's like, I know this is not a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I would not want y'all to like sugarcoat that something is bad. And the good thing about this podcast is you're going to get all of our genuine opinions about things.
Here's another genuine opinion.
But I also knew that there were going to be, I was not going to be surprised if there were going to be elements of this that y'all enjoyed. Like I wouldn't bring it to the table.
I liked the fifth one.
Here's another genuine opinion from me coming to you. Design-wise, virtually nothing about this movie worked for me. The entire movie looked like a BBC original movie.
Sure.
I think the design of the big puffy boys ships at the beginning was cool. Almost nothing else looked good at all to me. Including our black hole planet antagonist. That was, to me, that was one of the dumbest, my least favorite parts about this movie. Was like, oh, they're just trying to stop a black hole that's 9 billion light years away. I don't care about that. There's no villain and there's no antagonist besides Gary Oldman doing the weirdest voice I've ever heard him do in his whole life.
He
doing
said that
was
the
a
bidding
cross
of the planet.
Sure, but why?
So
Why
because
do
the
you
planet
think-
can sit on the
Doge.
seat of the fifth element and bring about the destruction of the universe.
Why can you not?
Won't he die too?
I don't know. That was never addressed. It seems like he's getting something out of it. Why would he ask for money if he was going to die?
I think you went in not. I feel like I should have primed you a little bit.
No, here's the thing. Like, this is...
Are you getting caught up on how they would technically be able to communicate with a dark planet? Okay.
What I'm saying and what I'm letting you know
yes
is that, Carter, I love you so much. You're one of my dearest
I don't
friends.
believe that.
This is one of the
You don't
worst
need
movies
this.
I've
You don't
ever
need this,
seen in my
Carter.
whole life.
Whoa!
That's fine.
This is a very bad movie.
That's
like
fine.
I rated it a 1 on IMDb. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my
You-
life. But I enjoyed my watch. I had a
Well,
good
you
time
did it.
watching it. I had a good time watching it because I was so completely incredulous the whole time.
Why are you? What part of the world building told you to get caught up on the technicalities of the world you were in?
No, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't caught up on the technicalities. That's just a further illustration of like, this is complete nonsense. And it's
Yes.
fun nonsense. It's completely fun nonsense.
Here's what I hear right now. Carter, please try and be as civil as possible. Because the things about you that Fifth Element made, I hate.
That's
Please
not
don't
what
be
I'm saying.
nonsensical.
I'm trying to. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of shocked by this response from Doge, and to me, it feels like the nonsense weirdness of it is kind of the point of the movie.
It absolutely is.
So you
I
hate
agree.
the point
It
of the movie.
absolutely is. I don't
You
hate
one
the
star
nonsense.
the point. You one star the point of the movie. You literally one star the point of the movie.
I do not hate the nonsense. What I'm saying is that none of this is actually good, I think. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to firmly disagree in the back half of this episode
Okay.
that none of this is
Let me-
actually good.
Let me tell you my super pump.
Oh, I'd love if you didn't though. I'd love if you saved it because it's time for
I'll
shout
save it.
announcements. Welcome to Shout Announcements, the part of the show where we can finally take a step back from all the tension created in
Yeah.
the main episode. Yikes. Doge, do you have something non-confrontational you'd like to say to our listeners?
Yeah, I'm here to, literally the only reason I woke up this morning was to tell you about supporting us on Patreon. There are 2 tiers you can support us at. One of them is $3 a month. And with that tier, you get access to Patreon exclusive bonus episodes. We just put out Lego Batman last week. We haven't decided
So
yet
fun.
what we're doing for Choose Your Choice for the Soul, but it's going to be a rip-roaring good time. You also get to vote twice in any series where your vote is heard, is cast. And that's about to be very useful to you. We'll probably let you know next week exactly why you're going to want to be voting soon. And if that doesn't sound like enough, at $5 a month, you can get all of those benefits plus access to our patron-only Discord tier. That's been a really good time lately. It was a little spicy last week. Some of our Discordians were coming for blood, it seems like.
They were wrong, by the way. Survivor.
They were wrong. We were right. But here's the deal: we need. I mean, I need your money for that because now that Carter and I aren't friends, there's a lot of like sort of accounts we have to settle. Like I'm sure along the way I owe him movie tickets, and he owes
my
me
contract negotiations are coming up, like for the re-signing of the new contract, and now you better believe. I'm going to be asking for more.
And even
I need your money so that I can
just me, eventually I'll be here always. So,
and you don't want that. So please support us on Patreon.
And you can support us even more, not even more, because it's not monetary. Like
everything
makes the world turn.
has to be a competition with you. Whatever I say, you could do more, huh?
Wow.
He's projecting. Just let it go.
I don't get angry often, but have y'all seen me mad before? Genuinely?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Never mind. We've had this conversation. I need you to go on Spotify and review us. Here's the easiest thing about reviewing us on Spotify. I do think that after you're on our podcast page, it's literally 2 clicks. I do think you click the little star. I don't know if you can do it through your internet like browser or through Spotify on your computer. I think it needs to be on the phone for some reason, unless someone knows another way to do that. Click, however many stars you'd like to give us. Please do that. And then also go over to Apple iTunes if you can. It's still currently the most influential algorithm. My guess is Spotify will get there not too far away.
Yeah.
But rate and review. The reviews are also good, being able to write that out. It's one thing to hear about this new restaurant and see that it has a 4.2 star rating. It's another thing to read what they liked about the restaurant. Did someone poo-poo on it because the wait staff wasn't very good? Does that make a difference to you? Does the food need to be good? Or is it all things need to be good? I don't know.
Very good.
Do the ships need to look like the kind of ships that you feel like could actually fly in the year 2336?
Were you lied to?
That's
was one of your dear friends like, this is my favorite childhood restaurant because it's actually good? And you eat it and you're like, this is just boiled chicken.
It's my turn to talk now. For once.
This is boiled chicken with jelly.
It's
the
my
plainest thing with the weirdest flavor.
To talk now. For once. Next week, the middle section of Chooser's Choice for the Soul is my choice. And one of the things I love about our podcast is like how much we span genre-wise. And because we span such a wide variety, we've actually covered so many of my like recurring movies in my life.
Yeah, it was actually pretty hard for me to pick one for this series too.
As a kid,
because there's only 4 that you like, Doge.
Here's
the 4th one.
It's elements 1 through 4. I love the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th element.
We've covered things like Emperor's New Groove, A Goofy Movie, Brink, Shrek. These are movies that I like wore out as a kid.
You could have given us a week off. We could have dropped that Patreon Goofy movie episode right here in the main feed.
That's true. We've covered a lot of my comfort movies I return to now. Things like Mean Girls, Crazy Stupid Love. I probably watch like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies that I love to return to. And so I debated between several movies to bring to the table. I thought about Wedding Crashers, which is a movie I watch quite a bit. But ultimately what I landed on is a movie that it's fairly new. So it's not one that I like watched a whole bunch growing up or anything, but it is simply the warmest, fuzziest, most wholesome movie. That just like, if I am having a bad week and need to just like edge the cry out and feel good about it, I'm going to go with this choice. So I have chosen to bring to the table next week Kyle Mooney's movie Brigsby Bear.
Cool.
I've never seen wait.
This. I'm very excited.
This series was born honestly out of a desire to force you guys to watch this movie specifically. So I can relate. Very, very excited. And now actually scared to put this movie in front of my friend Doge.
I haven't said anything you guys disagree with.
Yeah, you have.
What? I said this
one
movie
star?
This movie is objectively not a good movie.
You said 1 star, and you said that you hate that the planet. You said immediately following me saying I love that decision, you were like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. So yes, you have said things I disagree with, but this is still Shout Announcements. It's not time to hate our friends. That comes later. Thank you for listening to Shout Announcements. Watch Brigsby Bear for next week if you haven't, or if you have, and I at least love you.
All I'm saying.
No,
listen. Let me have a turn with a microphone. All I'm saying, 15 years from now, there will be 3 bros hosting a podcast. They love each other very much. And they're going to do a series called Chooser's Choice for the Soul. This is us on a 15-year delay.
Mm.
If one of them watched Jupiter Ascending.
But nobody would.
This is the Jupiter Ascending of 1997.
I don't think so.
It is weird. It is strange. Almost nothing about it actually works, but it has a kind of charm that sort of wears off if you don't watch it at the right time. I don't think Jupiter Ascending
has a charm. I don't think Jupiter Ascending has a charm.
The Fifth Element.
I think if you're 10 years old, it does.
The Fifth Element has a 7.7 on IMDb, 70% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 86% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Nothing like Jupiter Ascending.
Maybe I'm in the minority then.
I came to Jupiter Ascending.
You're not in the minority.
I was 26 when we watched Jupiter Ascending. I'm 28 watching the Fifth Element, and I have very different opinions on both. And
what about this works for you then? Because there's so much of this that this is like definitely a B movie. And I don't know that its charm outweighs the negative stuff for me about it. And I'm not trying to double down. I did enjoy watching this. It's just objectively one of the worst movies I've ever watched.
Yeah, I just think that the charm does outweigh the negatives of it. Like that's just where we differ.
It's just totally a subjective thing. Yeah.
I think that, first of all, I think Gary Oldman works.
He hated this, by the way.
I know he did.
He liked this movie as much as you did, Doge.
I definitely think Mia Jovovich works. I think that her fake language.
She's my super pump.
Oh, you don't get to have one.
She's mine too.
Look at us. She's fantastic.
Look at us. She's mine too. You came with your super pump like a branch on the sea that has engulfed our world.
Yes.
And you came to my ship and you said, "Here is Mia Jovovich."
She absolutely is carrying this movie. She's doing such a great job in this role.
It's really good.
She's given almost nothing to work with. The script really doesn't serve her that well, but she's absolutely delivering in a role where she probably has 20 words in a language that is real. You know, she's great.
Yeah, she's my super pump too. And I do want to take a serious moment really quick. Mia Jovovich is Ukrainian. And so I would recommend that you go to her Instagram account if you're listening right now. MILLA is how you spell Mia. And then at that point, it should just auto-populate into Jovovich. But she's got a link on her Instagram account right now to a Google document that shows you different ways in which you can support Ukraine right now. I think I had been ignorant to the fact that she was Ukrainian.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And when I was looking that up, was able to see that. And so she's doing a lot right now. It's just her full name, Mia Jovovich, on Instagram. She had a post recently, but then go over to that Google Doc link in her Instagram page for that kind of support. But yeah, I liked her a lot. And I think she had done Dazed and Confused before this and had kind of a minor role there. But she was definitely like international star that kind of got plucked out. She's my super pump in that sense. My super dump is something that didn't age well. It's funny to say something didn't age well when ultimately it shouldn't have existed in the first place. But our view at what a perfect woman is in this is incredibly insensitive. Even to the point to where like there's my least favorite scene is when we have somebody like walk in with our general to recruit Corbin Dallas. And she's kind of a static character that I feel like we've seen a lot, like in like Matilda or Dodgeball or someone like that. But for him to be like, she's going to be your wife, and the look of like disgust
Yeah,
on Corbin's
sucks.
face was incredibly insensitive. And it's something that I really never had liked about this movie. But that's my super dump. And so those are kind of hand in hand. I love Mia Jovovich. I don't like how she's portrayed as everyone's just kind of thirsty because she's perfect.
Yeah.
It's really, 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 really gross and inexcusable.
I mean, that sounds like the kind of thing that a 17-year-old you know what I mean?
That's where
like,
the 17-year-old of it all really comes to fruition, is that this whole thing is around like the perfect babe, dude. Like that's very much 17-year-old.
And listen,
Luke.
if you are 17 listening to this, you're probably not like that.
Or you are. I think that her accent work and the like fake language is so cool.
That's very good.
She's so apparently she is. I don't know how to say it. Quadrilingual, I believe.
Yeah, for
like
4 different languages.
She can speak 4 different languages, and apparently picked this up very quickly. Because of that, she's like spewing this language, like absolutely rattling it off. It's so fun. Her like rapid
even if it's
understanding.
gibberish, it's like,
right, yeah. But apparently it wasn't gibberish. Apparently her and the director could
like,
speak it back and forth, which was cool.
The
Doge
loves that. Doge loves that. Did y'all hear the eye roll? The little squeak of the eyes up there.
I completely doubt that. I think that is absolutely not true.
Where does the shock enter for me right now? I'm not shocked at all. That's okay. I don't know. That poop smells bad. It kind of tastes bad too. Mia Jovovich. So one of the lines that she does verbatim, it would be like if I ever saw something that I was like trying to like zoom in narratively and just be like, I think this might be what we're looking for. I still say "delactoligonai" and like point at something how she would. Chicken coming out of the oven or the microwave.
Yeah.
Chicken. Like
something else about this movie that I feel like is an obvious way that it is set apart from something the likes of like a Jupiter Ascending is that this movie has iconic things in it.
Yeah, certainly.
Like I had never seen this movie in my life, but I could have quoted Lilo Dallas Multipass to you with no hesitation. I could have pointed out to you every Comic-Con I've ever been to that has a Lilu cosplayer somewhere.
Sure.
These things are iconic. I don't think anybody's cosplaying as a Jupiter Ascending character. I do want to talk about Gary Oldman, who, even though he hates this movie, let me back up for just 1 second. My super pump for this movie is that it goes full tilt, full send, 1,000 miles an hour at exactly what it wants to be. Whether it succeeds all the time, irrelevant. Gary Oldman,
kind of like
hating his role, that's fine, is so in outer space with this character.
Yeah.
And who is this futuristic Colonel Sanders that he is doing?
It's a cross between, he said it was a cross between Ross Perot, who was a popular politician at the time, and Bugs Bunny. And that's exactly what it is. He did this as a favor to Luc Besson, because Besson is like one of the main players in terms of getting Gary Oldman's career off the ground.
Yeah.
I know.
And so Gary accepted the role without reading the script.
I know he doesn't like it. I know he's done 100 things, but if you have to put together an acting reel, the scene where he is showing the aliens the guns that he has manufactured and just rattling off all the statistics and the ways that they work needs to be in that acting reel.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is so fun. Sort of Sam Rockwell, Iron Man 2, the stuff we thought was really fun about him being this like over the top salesman all the time. And yeah, I don't know. This is not a surprise to you, Carter. I've told you before that since learning of your affinity for Gary Oldman, I've paid closer attention to him through the years and have firmly climbed on board he can do anything and can be the brightest spot in anything.
Yeah.
And so I really, really liked Zorg. I thought Zorg was a blast. But my super pump specifically is just the we remote. What's the wrist strap called? The safety wrist strap or whatever. Just the wrist strap. The wrist straps to the wall.
So.
The wrist straps to the wall.
Talking about a real Wiimote? Oh,
Yeah.
oh. A nunchuck to the
nunchucks to the wall approach to creating this movie makes me very happy.
Yes. I'm gonna say something. I don't intend this to be controversial.
Here we go.
I really do think you could agree with me. Gary Oldman is a fantastic actor.
I agree.
Gary Oldman does a great job. This is the worst Gary Oldman I've ever seen. That doesn't mean it's a bad Gary Oldman. I just think this is the absolute, easy worst Gary Oldman I've ever seen. Which might mean that he's a 7 out of 10 instead of an 11 out of 10 for those of us who love Gary.
Sure.
Is that I'm trying to get the barometer of this guy. Is that controversial? Are you guys like, no, Gary Oldman's way worse than something else?
No, I can't think of anything.
If Gary Oldman is a constant, then the source material is the thing that adds or subtracts.
Have I just tricked you into saying the source material is bad? That was not my intent, but here we are.
Well,
welcome.
But I don't think anybody's arguing that. I don't think anybody has said the script and source material are these 10s. It's just.
Then why are you guys so mad at me for saying that they're not 10s?
Because you're saying the opposite.
You're not saying it's not a 10. You're saying
the worst
you hate
thing that was ever made. You're saying this is the worst movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, I definitely agree
that
we are not watching the King's Speech here. I don't think anybody's arguing that, but we are definitely watching something that I think knows what it is and is having a good time with it. And you're like, there is no fun here. I hate this. And that's fine. You're allowed to hate it. You don't have to like it because other people like it. I am just shocked by the vehemence.
I would never want statistics to dictate how people feel about things because you are a variable. I teach that all the time because we talk about communication and in comm theory, it's like nobody can contribute to communication what you can because nobody else is Doge, right? So this movie cost $93 million and it feels like it kind of had a bit of a reckless abandon in its approach. But during the time, it worked around the world. It tripled the amount of money that it cost, which was a big deal in 97. And so I think my shock and my cartoon thermometer going up and bursting is how much you dislike it. That you just don't like it. And I think that's fun. We had kicked around the idea of just picking movies that we know someone else wouldn't like and just how fun would that be? And we stumbled upon doing that to you today. But I think here's a few things that I love about this movie. Ian Holm is great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree.
I love his kind of lost priest that's just trying to do his best and feels like the weight of the world is on his shoulders.
Vito Cornelius is an incredible name.
Cornelius never really has to do anything.
Yeah.
And I do love Bruce Willis in this, and I think this is confirmation for me. I love action movies. I really do like action movies more than I'd give credit, especially this time capsule, these late 90s action movies. Saturday Afternoon is a series that I'd recommend our chunkies go back and listen to because that was a blast. Our Stallones and Schwarzeneggers and things like that. I think Bruce Willis is my favorite action actor. I think he is my favorite action hero. And I think it's because he can do things like this. I think it's one thing. Arnold is funny in Jingle All the Way because he doesn't fit. Arnold is funny in most situations because he doesn't fit there.
Right.
Because he's not from this planet. Bruce is great because he's just kind of having fun with whatever he does. And I think Corbin Dallas is a blast. And
the
I think
scene
you can
with him
tell
at the front door when that guy's trying to mug him.
Yeah.
Is very good.
Yeah.
And it got me very excited.
He's a bit ho-hum apathetic, but when he needs to, turns it on and does what he's supposed to.
He is perpetually
I do love that
John McClane.
Yes.
Yeah.
We even give him a tank top here.
Yes, we do.
For sure. This is,
he's glorious road hazard orange tank top.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a decade after Die Hard. Just about a decade after. And so he's having his heyday. I mean, Bruce is still kind of doing some of this stuff, but that time, Fifth Element was part of my influence to metaphorically the quirk in Carter of like just wanting to be different and things like that. Kind of like how Fifth Element felt in the world of like action movies and sci-fi movies of the time was like I didn't know too many people whose favorite color was orange, and so I became enamored by that. And a lot of that had to do with like Lilu's hair, Corbin's vest, all these different things.
Yeah.
Like when I got a journal for doing Two Chunks notes, I chose this.
That is bright orange.
It's bright orange. I mean, it's like Fifth Element orange, and so there's like that influence there of just wanting. I like it. It felt like, and I'm seeing why it's landing not well with you, Doge. It feels like, but in a good way to me, I got a comfort from how much this movie doesn't care. I got a comfort from how much this movie doesn't take itself seriously, because that's like a release for me sometimes to just be able to be like, hey, I don't know, let's just think tank something and just produce it and just be like, what?
At the pool
I've got
party,
no idea.
the Fifth Element is the one that is doing a gainer off the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Just like, I'm going to do it.
I'm gonna
do it.
You say I won't. I'm gonna do it.
Watch me, because I'm going to do it.
Maybe that's where it's sitting for me, is that I feel like it's kind of right in between the like, I know this is kind of goofy, but stay with me. It feels like it's like not quite as, I don't get as much of a self-aware vibe as you guys do.
Sure.
I think it feels like it needs to be more one way or the other.
I don't
It's
think
like
you put
down the
Ruby
middle.
Rod in a movie that is not self-aware.
Fifth Element to me, another reason like that it stands out is because I don't really think there's been anything like this
Sure.
since, and that could be a testament to like, hey, we shouldn't do this anymore. I have no idea how you, like, if you ever watch like a trick shot or something that just happens to, I love watching videos. There used to be, or there still is, I guess, Fail Blog. Before there was even like social media, you could watch fails, but there was also a win blog. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Like people just kind of barely, these once in a lifetime kind of things. And the Fifth Element, good or bad, kind of felt like that to me. I was like, I haven't seen anything that reminded me of Fifth Element. And it's just completely bizarre. But,
well,
yeah,
it is time to rate the Fifth Element, to rate this movie. And we're going to do it with the scientific cinema scale, which is this one right here. It goes a little something like this. The best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it, buy that poster. The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it and then stream it. After that is forget it. And last, but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us.
Why did we go to so transatlantic?
I got stuck.
he's trying to do Zorg.
I got stuck in like radio announcer and just leaned in.
Stones are not here. So I'm buying it, and I know I brought my mind wasn't changed because of this podcast.
You could say because of me. Because of me.
No, I don't.
Because of me, the Grouch.
No. I would imagine one of people's favorite things about me on this podcast is I don't let you influence my opinion. I cannot ignore how insensitive the parts of the super dump are of this movie. It would feel equally insensitive to say it's on the buy the poster tier for me. So I do have to buy it. It is still something, obviously, that I do very much enjoy. And it's almost, it's the kind of enjoy too that hit me at a time to where it's just like a background thing. I think this is the most intently I've watched this movie in a very, very long time, since maybe the first time I watched it and maybe when I was showing it to somebody. Because it's just kind of like having it on. I'm always the kind of person that cannot handle silence very well. And so when I'm studying, it's not really like classical music in a sense. It's like I'm just turning on television. Like I just need people talking in the background. And so Fifth Element can be that for me sometimes. But it's a buy.
Yeah. I think I was stuck between I think I could easily flip-flop between stream or rent for this. I think as I turned it off last night, I was at a stream, but as I sat and reflected a little more, I think I'm at a rent. I think I'm going to rent The Fifth Element. This is a movie that I will rewatch. I do take some issue with the stuff that I talked about. No need to rehash, but yeah, it's certainly not content wise like cool with me across the board. But I love the full send gainer off the roof into the pool nature of this. On top of like, I don't know. Yeah, it feels like to me, they set out to make a B movie and made a B movie so strong that it's almost an A movie, if that makes sense. And it just has everything you want a B movie to have almost on purpose. And so, yeah, it's a rent from me, dog.
I think and this will make you feel better, Doge. I think the energy I'm realizing earlier, I said I don't feel like it compares to anything I've seen. It is as if maybe Shark Boy and Lava Girl was better.
First of all, impossible. Second of all,
impossible. Yeah.
There's never been
someone walking in with an idea from a child.
Dream.
I'm gonna give this.
There's only one rating you can after so hard you went after it.
Quite a low stream. Quite a very low stream.
To be honest,
a stream.
I am
courage.
Being honest. It's quite a low stream because
you can't hurt me any more than you already have.
You said it's the worst movie you've ever seen.
I did not say that. I
Look
said
your savior in its celestial eyes.
I said
say
this
that
is
you did this to me.
This is one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. I didn't say that it's one of the worst movie watching experiences that I've ever had. Because there are things like Shark Boy and Lava Girl that is also one of the worst movies that I've ever seen, and I would absolutely watch that again right this exact second. This is quite a low stream for me because, Jordan, I feel the exact opposite that you do. I think they tried to make an A movie. I think they were like, I'm sick of all this grim, grumpy future stuff. Let's make something bright and happy. Let's make the best movie people have ever seen. I had a great idea when I was 17. It's probably still good to go now. And they swung and they missed. And then they made a B movie and they're like, see, I meant to do that. I just don't see the intentionality.
Zorg and Ruby Rod into an intentional A movie, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think it does. I think it can't be an A movie if they're in it. And I think that's where I'm coming at, is that I think they tried to make an A movie and we're going to put the craziest, wildest, most colorful characters in. It's going to be amazing. And it was a B movie. It wasn't very good. And so now the narrative is, I totally meant to do that, you guys. Isn't it great how I meant to make a B movie so good that it's almost a A?
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. It was supposed to be a trilogy. So they definitely had intent for like, this was going to catch on.
But it did catch on.
Well, it didn't, not to the point to where like they would make more.
I thought he had already decided not to do the trilogy. I thought he condensed the trilogy into this movie.
Oh,
that's what I had read, is that he originally dreamed it up as a trilogy, but then just turned it into one movie.
Oh,
what I'm saying is you don't dream up a trilogy. You don't I don't know, man. It's something that feels a little revisionist about saying.
You don't dream up a trilogy?
I was going to say you don't dream up a trilogy of movies so intentionally bad that people actually like them.
Yeah. Usually those come in 9s.
Boom!
Yeah, I think that is the issue that I can see that maybe you're coming from, is like it was the only one who is in the Fast and Furious series, the only one who doesn't know what's going on is Vin.
Right.
But you got to know everyone else is like, yes, of course we'll do this, because
Ludacris knows exactly what movies he's signing up for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, I guess to me, it felt like The Fifth Element. Everybody was like, I mean, we know what this is, but it's going to be fun.
This is,
I feel like Luke did not know it. I feel like our director did not know that people were like, I would love to do your movie because it's so unbelievably bad.
I wouldn't say bad. I would say weird.
Okay.
Is my honest answer.
Yeah. This is good. This is another marker on the Two Chunks timeline. I think we have these moments where it's like Phantom Menace, Pride and Prejudice. And now here's Fifth Element. Here's another one.
We hate all Carter's movies.
It's good. Like,
I'd rather watch this again than Pride and Prejudice any day.
And
completely disagree.
My favorite Doge is the only Doge I know, and that's an honest one. And I thank you for that until you rated this movie.
Yeah.
Now I've seen you live for the first time. But that's okay.
Genuinely, it is a low stream for me.
Coward.
You 1-starred it. You actually did, didn't you?
I did. I rated it 1 star on IMDb.
I know it.
Oh, but I'd rent it though.
That's a stream though.
Those are totally different things. That's the point of the scientific cinema scale, is that it's not quantifiable by a number.
Hey, don't talk to me about the scientific cinema scale. I made it.
You guys are afraid of what I'm saying because you know it's true.
I have agreed with you on most of it.
Then why are you still fighting me?
I'm not. You're fabricating this.
Now you're gaslighting.
That's not even a real thing. Nobody's ever heard of that.
Gaslighting is not even real.
Nobody's
Doge.
ever even heard of that before. The lights are not getting dimmer. Shut up.
I just thought there's a difference between being honest and sensitive. And I thought you were far more sensitive than you showed today.
I am.
Your honesty rang true. I'm not surprised by that. But your sensitivity makes me think something else is going on in your life.
I have.
We're gonna have a serious talk when this call is over.
Not a joke, not a bit. I have almost no tact in conversations. So I totally track with that. That makes sense completely.
Oh, no.
No, don't let him do this. Don't let him do this. Oh, poor me.
I'm not doing anything.
Poor me. I accidentally shoulder checked through people's emotions. Me too, Doge.
I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to be honest with you. You guys are just you want to fight me today. You woke up and said, no matter what Doge says, I'm going to disagree with it because I know how I feel and nobody can change my mind. And that's fine.
If
you guys are absolutely allowed to have your own opinion.
They're going to be like, I listened to this movie podcast. It was pretty good. They hate each other.
There's one guy.
Love this.
There's one guy on there that they hate.
We have never looked more like a 3 p.m. ESPN show than right now.
All of our faces are so red and sweaty.
Are you serious? Do they actually disagree on everything? This isn't real. This isn't real.
Yeah, they're
just picking two sides
but for movies. Next week,
I want to set. Hang on, I want to set. I need to tell you just my thoughts in a sentence. I feel like we're not on the same page. I feel like if you understood me, you wouldn't fight me.
I feel like I absolutely get you.
This movie, quality wise, I'm talking writing. I'm talking editing in particular. I'm talking the craft of this movie is not great. That's what I gave a single star to.
It's Saturday afternoon.
Sure. My watching experience is much higher than 1 star. It's a low stream because this is so weird. It's like a car wreck. Qualitatively, a car wreck is a single star. That's a really bad thing. Yeah. Sometimes it's bad enough that I want to watch them clean it up or try and figure out how bad it was.
It's always impressive.
You rate on
to
quality.
Watch somebody sprint backwards.
Makes sense.
I am not changing I have not changed what I said about this movie. I am a stone in a stream. You guys are flowing around me, splashing on me, trying to push me over. I have not changed my story by a single sentence.
Next week, second episode of Chooser's Choice for the Soul, I'm bringing my movie, Brigsby Bear. Very excited.
If it's not edited well, you're going to lose some stars.
Well,
is what I just learned.
We'll find out.
Good thing we don't rate on stars on this podcast.
I'm very excited to watch this for myself, and it should be a good episode next week.
That Doge is ending up the angriest about this movie. The world is upside down about this review.
Oh man. Well, to end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name and one nice thing about our friend Carter.
No, I'm not.
For 2 chunks and a hunk, my name is Jordan Wonders, and I love Carter's taste in movies.
What?
I'm Doge. I love that nothing Carter can say can actually hurt me or push me off of my mission to spread the truth. I love how Carter has no power over me. He wants me to change the narrative. I'm not going to. I'm bringing the truth straight to the people. Carter's trying to censor me.
I think I did your quest in Fallout New Vegas one time.
I feel so. I don't even know how to describe how I feel right now. It's
like
just
the bell of the ball.
No. It's a strange feeling that I can't necessarily place. I can only describe as like it's like a Fifth Element kind of feeling. My name is Carter. And
you have to say, hey, you have to say one nice thing about me, your enemy.
That's not, you don't get to pick that. You don't get to pick that. He has to say one nice thing about himself.
Stop telling me what I can and can't do.
No, but really,
I also host this podcast.
You don't, he has to say it about himself. That's how it works.
My favorite thing about me is I think my infinite amounts of grace. Don't just look at me. I forgive you.
It's not your fault.
I love you despite.